Hi holograms, it's new. Today, I'm pretty tired, I'm in pain, but I wanted to play something and I also just wanted to chat. So I thought Spore would be the perfect game for that. I thought that this would be an easier and more interesting way for me to give you guys an update. Which planet should I pick? Sure, let's pick this one. Cell stage. I like to start from the very beginning. I guess we'll start as an herbivore. I'll do easy for now. What should I name my planet? Goody. Goody. Uh-oh. It's been a while since I played this. Here we go. I am born. So it's the very beginning of April. I have spent the last half of the month of March incredibly sick. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know this. You've been there for the whole ride. Basically, what happened was I had a really rough period, which triggers my colitis every time. And in trying to manage my period, I made my colitis even worse. It ended up being the worst ulcerative colitis relapse I have ever had in my life. And I was diagnosed 10 years ago. So I went to the ER, they took care of me for a few hours, and I was discharged. I was given medicine, unfortunately, that made my condition worse because I did not know that I was also suffering from an acute gastritis and esophagitis attack. I tried to be a good hologram. I took the medicine every day. I tried to do a colitis diet, but I just couldn't eat, and I was in so much pain. These are going to be defensive spikes. The pain was unlike anything I had ever experienced. So after 10 days, I went back to the ER because I knew something wasn't right. I couldn't eat. I would eat and it would be instant horrible pain and swelling and bloating in my belly, and it's just not like me. I've never been so laid out from a flare-up before. We're gonna name you Pew Pew. So I stayed in the ER overnight, and then in the morning they admitted me. And I, for the first time, was hospitalized. I'd never actually been, really hospitalized before. I've always had, stays at the ER. We pretty much did an immediate, get away, endoscopy and colonoscopy. I was really upset because I just had my 5th colonoscopy, a year ago. And I was fine. It looked great. I was so proud of myself. I was like, yeah, my colon's looking great. I've been doing so good. But since then, I have struggled to stay, making healthy choices. 2020 was really stressful, and so I ate a lot more junk food than I normally do. Not just junk food, but spicy junk food, which is not good for anyone with inflammatory bowel disease, but I just couldn't stop myself. It became like a ritual. I was already a little bit compromised, and then having the rough period with the ibuprofen, which is bad for IBD, but it's the only thing that helps my cramps, and then having the flare-up, and then being on the steroids, it just completely, fried off the lining of my stomach. And so then they did the scopes, and luckily the biopsies came back good, nothing crazy, just confirmation, you have inflammatory bowel disease, this was a colitis relapse with, surprise, you have gastritis, surprise, you have a hiatal hernia, which I had suspected for years. So it's nice to know, like, for sure that I have it. And it explains a lot of my symptoms. So now that I know, I'm definitely going to be more proactive in managing that and managing my acid. The stay at the hospital was really, really rough. At one point, they were giving me morphine every 4 hours because I was completely the worst pain I've ever had. It's so hard to talk about pain when you have chronic pain already. I had pain from my fibromyalgia and from the atlas subluxation and the osteoarthritis. That is so, it's like full body, it's horrible, it's penetrating, it's persistent, but this pain was isolated mostly to like my stomach, like my whole stomach was shivering and it felt like my stomach was in shock. Those 10 days that I was home just taking the steroid, trying to recover from what I thought was just a really bad colitis relapse, like the pain in my stomach was so weird because sometimes it just felt like I was numb, like my stomach was numb inside of me and cold, but then it also would have horrible pain. I had a rough time at the hospital, but thankfully all of the nurses were amazing. I was so taken care of, and it was really scary because I was like, well, this is it. You know, I've done it. I've messed up my digestive tract. This is the day I get an ostomy bag. Like, I didn't know what to expect, you know, but I'm really happy to see that there weren't any ulcers or perforations or things like that in my actual stomach, just, you know, an acute gastritis, like acute inflammation all over my stomach. The night that I got home, I thought I was gonna like die in my sleep. I was still in so much pain and so uncomfortable. Like, I can't really describe the feeling of like my stomach being like a shocked, like petrified, hard, bloated rock inside of me. Like, there's no comfortable position to sleep in. It's terrible. The acid was coming up my throat like a fountain, and I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I had the pain pill that they gave me when I went home. Can you get away from me? Oh my god. Who's spitting poison? Yeah, so I am having now to commit to this recovery. I don't know how long it's going to take. Like I said, like, this is the sickest I've ever been. You know, I had to go to CVS the other day to get more antacids to help me get through this. I had to take my cane. On my cat's birthday, I wanted to make them some soft-boiled eggs, and just standing up to fill the pot with water completely winded me. I can't really eat much at all. My stomach is still so bloated, and I just made a bunch of chicken feet bone broth to have a little fast. So maybe that will help give my stomach a break, but I've been mostly doing liquids anyway. I feel so weak and tired. I have a little bit of luck. Today and yesterday I had less pain. I didn't need a pain pill last night, so that's good. I'm medicating a lot otherwise, though. Lots of cannabis and herbal stuff, mucilages type stuff to like coat my stomach and help it heal. Don't even... Ah! Okay. That's what I want. Yes! Okay. Ah! No. Wait. Okay. He's like, oh, I'll let you two have some privacy. I won't eat you. But, yeah, I feel rough. I haven't worked, for 3 weeks. I'm hoping next week I can go back to my day job at least one day. I need to catch up. It made me think a lot, you know, all those days in the hospital and all these days recovering, like I haven't really been editing much. I've been doing a little bit, you know. I still like to have some content that I put out at certain times. Having this time off from my usual content creation schedule, which is, you know, I try to do a video on YouTube a month. I don't always keep up with that because editing takes a long time. I do a weekly tarot post. I do pin-up packs a couple times a week. I do all kinds of stuff. I'm very busy. I keep myself busy. Being off the hook from that, I'm like, oh my god, like, it is so nice to just be resting and not feel this sense of pressure, which I don't know why I feel a sense of pressure with my content creation. Like, it's okay to just create at your own pace, and that's what I have to do. But sometimes I get down on myself like, wow, I don't create as much. But it's like, really, this idea we have of like people constantly making content is a little bit unhealthy. Not a little bit, it's a lot unhealthy. We're not meant to be creating that much. Like, I love it, I love making stuff, but I don't need to be stressing about it. It's just for fun, you know? And I'm glad that I have you guys to support what I do. If you support me on Patreon or coffee donations, like, it means a lot. You know, it means a lot just to chat with you in the comments. This, I think, is a good chance for me to lighten my load and step back from a couple of things, not 100%, but just like enough to allow me to have that freedom to work on other things that I want to work on. And there's a lot that I have been trying to work on just behind the scenes that I want to make happen, but I get so stupidly stressed about, no, I have to use my energy for editing and for doing this and this content, and it's like, no, I don't. It'll be there when I'm ready to come back to it. It's fine. It's fine to take a break and get some other stuff rolling. It's literally fine. I don't know why I do that to myself. I get so neurotic about it. So what I think I'm gonna do is kind of put... I feel so stupid saying this because I feel like my YouTube was already on the back burner since like I'm really, really slow with it. And I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. YouTube, you can go, like, this kind of content can go on the back burner and be a lot slower than it already is. This is what I like to do. I like to put the poison thing on my butt like that. That way, anyone who gets behind me gets poison right in the face. There we go. No one will mess with us. You know, it's one of those things where you get really sick and it makes you realize what's important, and like chronic illness has done that in general for me, you know, makes you reprioritize. But I think I have to allow myself to come out of survival mode and hustle mode and just get into a really gentle, tender place of just feeling supported enough to take that step back and work on other things, work on developing other things. And I feel really good about it. I think I need this break. I don't really have a choice. I need to recover. You know, I can't be pushing myself like I was before. I really have to focus on getting into remission with this. And I'm really grateful for everything that I have. I feel so, it's so cheesy to say I feel blessed, but sorry, God, who is that? Mega Mouth. I feel blessed. I feel really supported and guided, and I feel okay. You know, I alternate. Sometimes I have really bad days where I just feel completely unsafe. You know, if we want to get metaphysical with it, like me having a flare up of my core, my stomach, and my what is it? Where is it? I want it. Oh, my core and my gut and my like release, my toxic releasing organ, you know what I mean? Like my colon and my stomach. That's my sense of self and my sense of safety needed a reset. I'm feeling it. Like this flare up completely hammered my vagus nerve, and I feel like if I hear a sound that is too loud or is unpleasant, I feel this painful pang of like anxiety in my chest that hurts my stomach. It like goes straight to my gut, and I'm like, ugh. So I've been wearing my earplugs a lot, and oh my God, they help so much, but I don't like having to put them in all the time. I'm so delicate right now, and I'm just really grateful and thankful that I can take this opportunity to rest and to recover. You know, money might be a little bit tight sometimes. I just had to stock up on, you know, a bunch of meds and a ton of food to get me through this flare up. Oh my God, the food. I can barely eat still, but like, you know, I'm trying to be good. Sauerkraut, probiotic, cottage cheese, avocado, smoothies. I just made that bone broth. It's expensive to heal, but I know that I can do it. This may be my worst, but I don't think that it is beyond my capacity to handle. You know, I've been doing this for 10 years, like I said. I'm a pro. Let's go on to the next stage. Hello, little friend. Ooh, here we are. Oh, the legs are really low, aren't they? Oops. It's a little cramped. Hey, there he is. It's a strange feeling when you've just had like a health situation and you are now in the recovery phase and you have to just surrender to it. And a part of that is also surrendering to my creativity and not playing small, you know what I mean? Not that what I'm doing here is playing small. I love doing this kind of stuff. But I feel like a lot of my stress can be attributed to me not being able to put what I want into certain creative, pursuits or ambitions. Once again, the intelligences forced my hand and said, or rather grabbed me by the scruff and was just like, okay, it's time for you to do this. Like, you can't just be, running yourself ragged, doing these other things that you're doing just to survive mainly. You need to focus on you and your health and your sense of peace and safety and your sense of self and your creative self, your creative heart. I have so much love for my journey and my story, and this whole situation has made me feel even more like, okay, I can't ever give up. I have to keep telling my story and making my art. And it really was kind of a reset of my confidence. Like, I don't know if it's like something to do with having to be so vulnerable. While I was at the hospital, I was keeping everyone on Instagram and everywhere else updated. But especially Instagram, like that's the best place to stay on top of what's going on with me. And realizing I don't care. It's so easy for me now. I'm so desensitized to talking about bowel disease and having a diseased colon and like literally shit. Like having to talk about the nurse giving me an enema before my procedures and sharing all of that. I realized it doesn't embarrass me anymore because it's just my reality is to be sick and to have to like do these things that other people I guess would be traumatized if they had to have a nurse like do that to them. Or I know so many people who are traumatized from colonoscopies, and I've had 6 of them now, and they suck. They're not fun, and the anxiety leading up to it is fucking awful. But like, I don't care. Oh my god, like I thought about those reality show pilots I did forever ago and how profoundly it changed me just to be part of pilots. The shows didn't get picked up, and like, rather than being heartbroken about it all these years later and being like, wow, my dream didn't come true, that's like, obviously there's not just one way to make it happen, but that inspired me so much to share my story. But even back then, I was such a different person, and so now I feel so great. Like I have really gotten to a point of confidence and self-love to be able to so openly speak about my reality, which is being sick. And it's so funny that after I got out of the ER the first time, like immediately after, I got a bunch of comments from this guy. You may have seen me talk about him. His name is Keith. Hi, Keith. He, for the past several years, has accused me of faking my illnesses in order to doc shop for drugs and to make money on YouTube. That's what he thinks. He thinks that I'm not really sick, that I just am faking for the attention, for the money, for drugs. He says that I don't need a handicap parking placard. He leaves these comments on videos where I explain my illnesses, where I explain why people with chronic illnesses may need accommodations like that. Because he has a very severe illness, I think it makes him mad that I still need accommodation and help and that I still struggle, even though I have chronic health problems that are not like terminal like him, you know what I mean? So it's just this really sad situation where it's like, obviously he's doing that out of pain, but I'm not a punching bag, sir. It's just an empathy thing. He feels angry that he is in that situation. He only knows how to regulate his emotions by attacking me and by trying to get me to fight with him. And then he can pull the, oh, but I'm terminal, how dare you say that? I've seen him do it before, like on Facebook and stuff, unfortunately. He has a history. It's sad, you know, I wish I could help him. I wish I could find him like a support group or therapy or something, but I guess it just makes him feel better to call me a loser and say that I'm faking and just invalidate everything that I'm going through. And like, you know, I can take it. It doesn't bother me like personally. Like it doesn't affect me and make me go, oh, someone doesn't believe me. I don't care. Who the f are you? These legs are supposed to be buggy, but they look so thick. How about these? I don't know. Oh my god, why are they so thick? Can I have real skinny ones? Ugh. Anyway, my point is, literally can be in the hospital and people will still accuse you of faking. And that's why it's important for me to tell my story, and that's why I am so excited to focus on other things that will help me expand my platform and get to a place where I can share my story with more people. That's really important to me. Why are these so huge? The fuck? I really need people to have empathy and to, you know, some people you'll never get through to. I get that. Obviously, Keith, for years I've been telling him what's what, and he still just thinks I'm a faker. Yes, Keith, I faked it. I faked it all. I faked bleeding from my colon just so I could have a nurse put an enema up my ass, and so I could have doctors put scopes up my ass and down my throat. I did it all for that and for the morphine, right? So silly. This is scary. I'm giving you regular arms. You know, I feel really good about my situation. I have finally come to a place of peace with my illnesses. Generally, you know, sometimes I have bad days. Why me? And I just want to not be in pain, because really that's it. It's hard to cope with pain. I think it's a good time for me to focus on other stuff and make things happen, you know? I really hope that I can continue to influence people in a good way. It's more really about also being there for other people who are sick and other people who benefit from knowing that they are not alone and that someone understands. And not being able to eat is so hard. I don't know what it's like to be hungry anymore, I feel like, because I'm so used to just eating at certain times of the day just because certain foods went with certain activities, and I had routines and rituals around all of that. And now, suddenly, I have nothing. Even when I eat something so small, a half an avocado, I bloat up and, ugh, I just really hate it. It's, you know, I miss food. I miss having curry every weekend while I watch Drag Race. I miss having my favorite snacks with video games every night. And, you know, I'm just, you know, I miss food, so sometimes I'll like eat a small thing because I want the taste and then like immediately regret it because I'm in pain. When I think about it, the past 3 months were obviously really, really stressful. January was stressful for obvious reasons in America. And then February, I think I just crumbled under everything, and I had the worst depressive relapse that I've had in a while. It was bad. It was really bad. I just couldn't cope anymore. I'm just so, I'm so tired. I've been sleeping a little more. I actually finally slept a full night last night. For the first time in weeks. I've started going on walks again in the morning. That will help me with my recovery. Really thankful to have this time to be home with my cats too, obviously. Kitties are very healing. They've been taking good care of me. They were so confused while I was gone. They're like, "Where's Mom?" And they were sleeping in the cat tree, all curled up together. What I would like to do is to redefine what it means to be an artist in our very, modern, fast-paced, crazy production world. I don't like this whole thing we have of running artists into the ground, which we've had for so long, You think about old Hollywood, things were so different, but things were also still so similar as far as like the kind of schedule that you were expected to keep if you wanted to be an artist, if you wanted to be an actor or a musician or a singer. Like, you had to run yourself into the ground. And it's like, as a disabled artist, that's something I cannot do because I cannot bounce back from it like a healthy person may be able to. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't make art. And that's what gets me, is like, people are like, "Well, you gotta work hard to make art." And it's like, okay, but I don't need to sacrifice my health to make art. Like, that's stupid. That's ridiculous. So I hope to show that you can still make art at a healthy pace. I think we can do a lot of really great things, even with the limitations that we have because of the pandemic. And I would love to show and model what it's like to work differently. I hope that I can do that. Anyway, holograms, I hope that you guys have been okay too. I hope that April is nicer to us. I would encourage all of you to follow my lead and maybe cut some stuff out of your schedule. Right now, it's really, really important that we heal from whatever it is that's going on. I know it's not always easy, but sometimes making the decision to, cut back on something that wasn't good for you. And for real, I didn't even attack you. Hey. Oh my god. That was so rude. Alright, I've gotta be reborn. Oh, now we gotta migrate. Ugh, okay. Holograms, thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to those of you who made donations, and especially those of you who chatted with me while I was at the hospital. You really kept me sane. Try to take it easy, okay? Stay hydrated, rest a lot. You're gonna need it. I hope that I can step into this new phase of my life and my new adventure and my new journey with all of you. So keep hanging in there, okay? I love you, holograms. Bye.